Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Our Vice President of India, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar, resigned. He cited health reasons for his resignation, for his sudden resignation. Now, there are a lot of theories floating as to why he actually resigned. We too are going to talk to you about some theories. So, we are going to put a lot of theories together, add our own bit of logic, and then present to you. This is my editorial today. Let's get right into the show. So, our Vice President, Jagdeep Dhankhar, rendered his resignation. Am I surprised? Actually, not really. Am I saddened because India lost a great Vice President? Honestly speaking, my opinion, not really. So this is, let's lay the premises very clearly. From here on, let us try and figure out why did Jagdeep Dhankhar, who was Vice President of India, why did he resign? He was playing the match very well. He was working for his party and at times also for the country. So what exactly went wrong? Why did he resign? And what forced him to resign? Chalo. You see, first of all, the reason why things were not going very well with Jagdeep Dhankhar is evident with this tweet. Just see the tweet on your screen. This is Shri Narendra Modi, our good Prime Minister, who says that Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji has got many opportunities to serve our country in various capacities, including as the Vice President of India, wishing him good health. This is what the Prime Minister wrote for this sudden resignation of the Vice President. He said, Dhankhar ji has got many opportunities to serve the country. I don't know what he means. He already has many opportunities. Now enough. Don't serve the country anymore. Is that what he is trying to say? I don't know. But whatever he is trying to say, I don't think it is much heartfelt. I mean, this is my opinion. Like I said, lot of conjuncturing, lot of opinions. But this is what I thought. I thought this bye-bye tweet that the Prime Minister offered the Vice President of India was very cold and dry. Evidence number one that shows that, listen, there's something not right between the government and Jagdeep Dhankhar. Point number one. Chalo, let's keep this aside. The almost semi-government theory, when I say semi-government, what I mean is a lot of media is talking about it, and even some quarters of the government and ruling party members have unofficially endorsed it, is that, listen, you know what, the opposition backed notice for a motion to remove Justice Yashwant Verma, who hit the headlines after the massive cash recovery at his official residence. When Rajya Sabha members met for the monsoon session yesterday, opposition MPs moved the notice. Mr. Dhankhar, the chairman of the upper house, accepted the notice and asked the House Secretary General to take necessary steps. The notice of impeachment was presented to the Vice President of India, who is also the head of Rajya Sabha. He accepted that notice. He handed it over to the General Secretary and asked him to take the necessary steps. They say that BJP MPs were very upset. He said, "Ye kya? How could you allow? How could you take the motion from the opposition?" They expressed their dissatisfaction on the way he functioned, and people say he resigned. In fact, there's another report that says that, again, sources say that senior minister described Dhankhar as having been under scrutiny for some time and cautioned that his conduct was inappropriate given his institutional position. In response, Dhankhar is said to have engaged in a heated argument, assessing that he sensed intense displeasure from the government and eventually felt compelled to resign as soon as possible. You see, the fact that he accepted the notice from the opposition MPs and asked his deputy to kind of take necessary action on it, which angered the Bharatiya Janata Party MPs, may definitely have happened. I don't deny that. But a man who has been constantly working for a political party as the vice president of this country, a lot of us, including me, let me tell you, have been criticizing him for working for his party more and the country, therefore, the constitutional position that he is holding. This was a personal opinion, my opinion, and I want to believe a lot of other people felt the same like I did, but all the same, my opinion, this man who has been doing this not just as the vice president, but as a governor of West Bengal, and then from there promoted to the vice president, this man, just because he took a motion of a judge, Yashwant Verma, and he gave it to his office members and said, go ahead and take action on it. Is that good enough for seeking his resignation? I mean, think about it. Is that big enough? Is that life-changing for Bharatiya Janata Party to just throw out one of the most loyal, one of the most, obedient worker of Bharatiya Janata Party, who happened to be the vice president? Is it as simple or as easy for Bharatiya Janata Party to just ask him to resign, and he resigning and going, and the next day morning president approving it and say goodbye, tata, thank you, bye-bye. And the prime minister saying that anyway, he got a lot of opportunities, Baba, to serve the country. Is it that simple? Or is there some sense in saying that Mr. Dhankar has been under scrutiny for quite some time? You see, I have a theory, and that is a theory alone. A lot of people may agree to me, a lot of people don't. You see, what really happens, what really normally happens is when you have somebody who constantly works at your command, does exactly what you want him to say, does exactly what you want him to do, does exactly what you want him to behave, does exactly the way you ask him to, you command him to, you start taking that person for granted. Somewhere down the line, if you look at Jagdeep Dhankhar's track record, his career, you will find that Jagdeep Dhankhar has been, most of his life, doing exactly what the Bharatiya Janata Party top management, top leadership wanted him to do. For him, it was always his party first. He was a loyal member of his party, loyal member of his leadership, almost dedicated to his leadership. You see, Jagdeep Dhankhar is 74 now. If you go by what RSS says and what Bharatiya Janata Party says, and at least what Narendra Modi says, not for himself but for others, that you have to retire at 75, the chances are this may be his last job. 74. One more year to go in terms of Bharatiya Janata Party's cut-off line, and 2 more years to go if he finishes his tenure. 2 more years to go and possibly he'll have to retire. But somewhere down the line, I think conscience, self-respect, am I here to just obey? These questions come at this time of your career, this part of your life. We see what you see on television. We don't see what happens inside the cabin, do we? We don't see what happens inside closed doors, do we? We don't see what happens inside conference room, do we? Was it happening? And the chances, if you look at purely, like I said, from a logical, analytical point of view, what really happens, this is normally what happens to a person who is over-obedient, who builds career on just being obedient. This is what happens because you tend to be taken for granted. My question, therefore, is, was Dhankar taken for granted? I think which he was for the last so many years of his political life. And then did he start realizing that possibly he was taken for granted? Did he start resisting that? Did he start saying that, no, I am a constitutional head, I have constitutional responsibility? I have been appointed by the constitution of this country. Did he start thinking that? Where he started questioning authority, saying that, "Arey yaar, aisa kya hai?" And did that put him onto this scrutiny, as they call it? And did that to a stage where he had no option but to resign? This is the logic that I see. We spoke about conscience. We spoke about self-respect. We spoke about being taken for granted. You see, there are incidents in history earlier on. I am not saying, therefore, the story that I'm going to tell you is the same as what happened with Jagdeep Dhankhar. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you some stories, some parallel stories which happened, which spoke about leaders standing up against their political parties. Political parties they worked their entire lives for, because they felt they were taken for granted, because their conscience didn't allow them to take those decisions. Let me give you an example. Gyani Zail Singh, the former president of India. Gyani Zail Singh was the president of India from 1982 to 87. He was known to be a great follower of the Gandhis, great loyalist of Gandhi. He called Sanjay Gandhi a Renuma meaning patron. He said that he is willing to sweep Mrs. Gandhi's house, that is Indira Gandhi's house. He said, I would do that. You see, when a lot of people questioned him as to why is he allowing Rajiv Gandhi to be the prime minister, that is after the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi, he said, listen, you know what? Rajiv Gandhi has done a lot for me. If today I am the president of India, it's thanks to Rajiv Gandhi. So that was Gyani Zail Singh. The same Gyani Zail Singh, in the last part of his tenure, where after Rajiv Gandhi being made the Prime Minister of India, he saw a lot of humiliation. He was humiliated. He was taken for granted. Because at the end of the day, he was taken as a person who would do anything because Rajiv Gandhi said so. Though he was the President of India, he fought back. He fought back. In fact, you see, in the last 2 months, Gyani Zail Singh had refused to sign the controversial Indian Post Office Amendment Bill 1986, which authorized the government to censor personal mails, sought the government's explanation for not adopting a clear policy on appointment of Supreme Court and High Court judges, questioned the government's television coverage policy, sought an explanation from the Chief Election Commissioner for delinking the Haryana Assembly elections from other states. He dispatched an angry letter to Andhra Pradesh Governor Kumudben Joshi demanding an explanation for her role in state politics. He started questioning. He started questioning the government. But last few months of his career, his tenure, somewhere down the line, he wanted to push back. He wanted to react to the fact that the government, the Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi had taken him for granted. Possibly, he was listening to his conscience. Possibly, that self-respect was awakened. Again, let me tell you, Ryder, I am not saying that this incident, I am comparing it or I am hyphenating it with Jagdeep Dhankhar's incident. I am just giving you an example, another example that happened in our past, another example which is actually different, but all the same relevant, is that of Somnath Chatterjee. Somnath Chatterjee was a speaker in the UPA, during the UPA government between 2004 and 2009. You see, he was, all his life, he was a CPM, that is CPI Marxist member. He was a senior leader, a leader who was revered, a leader who had tremendous clout in the CPIM. Now, after he became the speaker, he was told by his party, the Communist Party of India Marxist, which had objection to India kind of signing a deal with United States at that point in time, and they didn't want the deal to go through. They asked the then speaker, that is Somnath Chatterjee, to resign as a speaker, to step down as a speaker and vote against this motion. He refused to do so. He said, listen, I'm a speaker. I was a Communist Party member. I was a CPIM member for all these years, almost my entire life. But today I'm a speaker. I'm apolitical. I will not stand for or against a political side now. I will sit right in the middle because that's what my job is. And you know what? He was thrown out of CPIM, expelled. The party he spent his entire life serving, last days of his life, that party didn't stand by him. He spent in isolation. This too happened. This too happened in this case, of course. This was a man who stood by the Constitution, who said that I have taken up a constitutional responsibility and I am going to execute that constitutional responsibility the way it is written in the Constitution, the way the Constitution wants me to. This is another story. Just because one motion was accepted by the Vice President, one motion out of the 150 things that he has done, which a lot of people would have otherwise said that it is not very pro-constitutional or it was being biased. 150 things that he said. One place, once he allowed a motion which was submitted by the opposition MPs. Would that cause him his job? I doubt. If you think otherwise, do write your comments below and let me know what you think. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.